Hello, this is Dr. Morales, and today we are going to talk about surface area. So, surface area can be found on solids. So, the surface area of a solid, and a solid is a three-dimensional shape, like this box over here in the triad, three-dimensional. Okay, so the surface area is the sum of the areas of all of its faces. So, the areas, we know how to find the area of a rectangle, triangle, and different polygons. We just use their formula. Each one has a different formula. But here on this solid, which is a rectangular prism, it looks like a box. If I take the area of all of its faces, so for example, here, this face over here, and then this one in the front, the top, the bottom, the back, and I add them all together, that will give me the surface area. So in other words, it's the area all around a solid. Now, you can also use a two-dimensional representation of a solid, which is called a net, to find the surface area. So what that means is, if you look at this picture over here, so here is your rectangular prism, this is your box. If you unfold it, see, you unfold it and make it flat, you will get this over here, which is called a net. Okay, so this is a net, and I can use this to find the surface area by just looking at the faces. Faces are all these rectangles that make up this net, finding the area of all of those rectangles, and then add them together. That will give me the surface area of the rectangular prism. So let's look at an example. Okay, example 1 says finding the surface area of a rectangular prism. So here's the rectangular prism, and we have this rectangular prism that has a length of 7, so this is the length. We have a width of 4, and we have a height of 3. Okay, and we talked about using the net, so here's the picture of the net. That's how it looked like if I unfold this rectangular prism, and I'm going to find the area of each face. So let's start with the top. So the top is over here. So here's the length. Remember, the area of a rectangle is length times width. So the length is 7 and the width is 4. So here, 7 times 4 gives you 28. So this is my first area. And now what about the bottom? See, it's color-coded. The top and the bottom are exactly the same. So the bottom is also going to be 7 times 4. So here we get another 28. Now looking at the front is over here. That's 7 times 3. And 7 times 3 is 21. So here is the area of the front. The back will be exactly as the front, so that's another 7 times 3, which is also 21. Now the side of the rectangular prism will be 4 times this number over here, which I don't have it, but if I look at the other side, it will be the same as this number over here, 3. So the side will be 4 times 3, and 4 times 3 is 12, and we have two sides. Remember, one over here, this over here, and one here over here on this side. So 4 times 3 twice. So now if I find the sum of those areas, I'll add 28 plus another 28. That's the area of the top and the bottom. I add the front, which is 21. I add the back, which is also 21. I add the side, which is 12, and the other side, which is 12. And that gives me a total of, let me grab my calculator. So we had 28 plus 28 plus 21 plus 21 plus 12 plus 12. And it gets me exactly 122. Don't forget the units. What units are we talking about here? Inches. So it will be inches square. Okay, so inches square. This little 2 means square. So this is how we use a net of a rectangular prism to find its surface area. But what if you get a picture like that, like this one over here on the triad, but you don't get a net? So let's see what happened. How did we find this area so we can find the surface area without having to unfold it? So let's see. So the top and the bottom, okay, so top and the bottom are exactly the same. So the 7 is the length and the 4 represents the width. So we multiplied the length and the width, and then we did that twice. So I can say that the surface area, so I'm going to use SA, surface area is equal to 2 times, and I'm going to use parentheses, the length times the width. Okay, and then remember this is the sum plus, let me see what else did I do. So I took care of the top and the bottom. Now we did the front, and the front is 7. 7 is the length, and the 3 is the height. So we did the length and the height, and we multiply also those 2 times. We did it twice, so that will be times 2. So it's going to be 2 parentheses times the length, oops, this is a parenthesis, and the height. Okay, plus, now we need 2 more to do. So remember, we did the length times the width, then the length times the height, and then the last 2 were the sides, which is 4 and 3. So the 4 represents the width, so we did the width, and the 3 represents the height. So, and we also did that twice. So it's going to be plus 2 times the width times the height. Okay, so if I follow this, I should be able to get the surface area without having to draw a net for this rectangular prism. So let's work it out. So surface area equals, so let's go on the picture and let's identify the length, the width, and the height. So the length is the longest side, so this is the length. The width is on the side of the length, so that's the width, and the height is the distance between the top and the bottom part of the rectangular prism, so this is the height. So now we have 2 times the length is 9, times the width is 6, 9 times 6, plus 2 times the length, 9 times the height is 5, plus 2 times the width, which is 6, times 5. The height is 5. So now I'm ready to work it out. So surface area equals, so let's grab your calculators, and we're going to start with 9 times 6 is 54, and then times 2 gives you 108. So this is 108 plus, now we're going to do the same thing with the other one, 9 times 5, and then times 2 gives you 90, and then the last one is 6 times 5 is 30, and 30 times 2 is 60. So now I'm ready to add all of those, and that will give me 108 plus 90 plus 60 gives me 258, and these are meters square. And that is how you find the surface area of a rectangular prism. Thank you.